can open up from above, right? But at the same time, it's doubly so because not only can you open up from above on open space, you can also just kind of access it from the outside, just from like windows. And there's drop downs you can play with. So, I mean, in my opinion, Tullers is just a better site because there's a lot less accessibility for the attackers. But in terms of like which one's better, they're very similar. I just expect to see Tellers though, to be honest.
Yeah, and Beastly is going to pick up Pulse, and Pulse is not an operator we've seen here on Bank yet today. So I'm curious. I feel like he's going to be playing inside a server, if not playing possibly behind the desk inside of the A bomb site. But we'll have to see exactly where he's going to be utilized, because we are down here in the basement.
Yeah, I'm curious to see where, because I mean I'm not really sure what they're going to be doing with that, to be honest. Maybe playing him behind the desk in A, trying to utilize him to deny the plant. But I'm not sure that's strictly speaking necessary. I mean, you can just use a Valkyrie camera to achieve the same goal. I want to know, maybe he's gonna roam. Maybe he's gonna hardcore roam. I'm interested to see this though, because I mean I expect him. You know, it makes sense to me on Tellers, not so much on the basement.
Yeah, Tellers, I mean, when you have that vertical gameplay, here the vertical gameplay is all about the drop hatches. And maybe he's going to be looking to see, maybe he might stay inside of red and just look to see when a person drops or when they're right above the drop hatch inside of the A-bomb site. But again, we'll just have to wait and see.
Yep. I like these cameras. Give them a good coverage of the map. They're pretty standard setup on the basement. Not a whole lot of variation going on here. They opened up the wall to hold behind the desk in A, and whoa, Noble all the way back in spawn.
Yeah, it looks as though Godkin is going to get inside of the CEO office. Pre-looking as he enters in. Now, we see no lurker up here, but Godkin doesn't know just yet, so he's going to make his way very quickly, choosing some different avenues. Now, this is nice. He's able to open up this top drop hatch, clears out that, that minor manager's office, and also the drop hatches into the open space. Spots one Valcam, will down it. And now it looks like they've secured the top floor and the main floor, and they're going to start getting into formation to make a push here shortly.
You know, the way that Sledge caught that Valcam, he didn't just look around and find it. He cut it when it wasn't even turned on. That makes me think that these teams have scrimmed quite a lot, and I'm pretty sure that they understand each other very, you know, to an extent that is extreme. I mean, I want to see if we're gonna see from Noble here like an actual counter attack strat. If they've been screaming each other together, then Noble has to have had an idea of the setup that 3Sup's gonna be using here, and I want to know if they're gonna be countering it.
Yeah, now Godkin was all the way on the top floor, got down to the second, and he's gotten outside now. He's coming in from garage, droned it out, knows it's all clear, sees the door reinforced. And now he's just gonna make his way in there as Strata tries to come down from the main stairwell.
This attack is being centered around pretty much the opposite of what we normally see. Normally we see everybody focusing on the server side. These guys are opening up the teller drop. They're coming in from the garage. This is an interesting attack to see.
And so, looks as though some smoke grenades are going to go out, and Carnage is going to pick up the first kill onto Godkin. That's going to be the Sledge inside of garage. Now Perception's right above the elevator, ready to drop and take over lobby. He's going to drop right here and doesn't see anyone. The smoke grenades went out and covered his drop. We also have Ash, who just dropped and went inside the red hall. Just not there quite yet. J-Sup gets injured as well as Carnage. It's going to be two of the defenders down, but not out. However, Perception picks up one shot and Rock picks up the other. It's now a 2-on-2 with Beastly getting Perception and Jaeger still being down, but not out here in garage. Hopes is inside of the red hallway as Beastly and BNG go at it, with BNG finishing off Beastly. So with that, it's now all up to BNG. 14 seconds left to go. He's going to hop into B bomb site. He's going to get the defuse down. Smoke is inside of the red hall. Looks on in. Doesn't see him. So now he's thinking, where's the bomb being planted? Where's the diffuser going? And the Valcam actually spotted him. So with this, Hopes knows he can pick up his teammate. Just enough time. BNG's looking, pushes on out. Will spot. He gets the shots onto Smoke. It doesn't land him onto Jaeger just yet. Pistol comes out. He will get the clutch there with 2 kills as Jay and Hopes fall to the pistol and the L85.
You know, not to take away from BNG there, but that was pretty much, you can almost entirely blame that round on the fact that that impact grenade didn't get all the way through the wall. Those support beams didn't make it vaultable. So I kind of feel bad for Smoke, to be honest, in that situation. He had the round in his hand. If he had been able to vault through that wall, then the diffuser would not have gone down. Fletcher would have been killed. So it's a little unfortunate for the defenders there.
Yeah, and unfortunately, that's just the way the impact grenades go. Sometimes it doesn't get the beams, and sometimes it can. Now, have you noticed a difference as to if you throw an impact grenade further away from a wall, or if you're further away from a wall when you throw it, does it tend to destroy less of the wall, or doesn't it matter?
I honestly haven't experimented too much with it. Classes I play typically don't have impact grenades, but I know there's got to be some factor. There's always some like managing factor to how it actually works. You know, a lot of this stuff is procedural. So, like for example, like a buck shotgun shooting through a wall, it's procedural. It's not a set thing. It's not okay. What happens when you shoot this buck shotgun is it's gonna want, you know, it'll command its way through this wall, and just like the game is completely procedural. So like the pellets actually go through the wall and they actually break the wall. So it's the same thing with impact grenades. You know, then because of that, there's going to be that variability. There's not a whole lot you can do about that. That's just the way the game works.
Yeah, there's a little bit of RNG that goes in with the destruction in this game, and I think that's what highlights a portion of the features of this game is how it's you can destroy a wall, but it's not going to be the same destruction every time.
Yep. And that was also, I'd like to talk about that attack. That attack on last round was very unorthodox. I mean, it's pretty much the opposite of what we usually see.
Definitely.
It coming at it from the entire opposite direction that we always see with everybody stacking up on the server. So I'd really like to see that attack. I'm not sure if that was like a counter strat, because again, I'm pretty sure these teams have been scrimming each other. I'm not entirely positive, but I don't know. Like I want to know if that was. I'd like to talk to them about it.
We definitely saw some different attack strat there with coming down from the red drop hatch or the teller drop hatch, coming down the main stairs, pushing from garage, and not even caring about server, really. They just ignored that and pushed in from the other side. But we are underway here in the attack phase, and we're going to see Digital getting into the teller area. And he realizes that, hey, it's opened up, or I'm sorry, it's reinforced and barricaded off, so we're going to have to just move on over to the typical server stairs, where we see Ash and Beastly, who's playing Thermite, moving into the open space.
And based upon their movements, I'm expecting to see your standard server attack from 3-sub here. Probably going to open up the drops, or at least one of them, then try and open up one of the walls and towards server, and get that plant down in the corner, the little lip. But, you know, it'd be... Yeah, if it works, it works. You know, don't need to fix it if it's not broken.
Yeah, and so it looks as though Rock is going to be sitting on the server stairs, waiting to see if someone's going to push on in, because they realize that, hey, typical push is going to be here. Beastly, though, right on the other side, 3 markers are going to be popping up on Pulse's heartbeat sensor, and the nade goes out, destroys the barbed wire, and forces Rock to retreat down to the safety and security of that server room.
They just used a whole lot of utility on that Pulse, to be honest. You know, you'd think, okay, well, he got debunked from his position. He lost that engagement. No, he didn't die, and he wasted how many nades? Was that 2, 3 nades?
Possibly, yes. And so with it, he sees him coming down the stairs. He's got the M1014 in his hand, ready to get the shot. Aims a little too high, and it's going to be the bullet landing right onto Rock and able to take him out. But the flank from behind, I'm sorry, the flank... Not even the flank, just the push and the force from BNG coming out of the A-bomb site into server will down one, and it's going to be a trade-off there, 1-1 each.
That was good team play from BNG. He was like, okay, my teammate died. Well, I'm gonna go trade, because a lot of the time people they won't trade. They'll just try and turtle. They'll try and play it safe. And I really like what I saw from BNG just now.
Yeah, and Jay taking the brunt of damage from the gas grenade. Now that's 2 gas grenades out of the way, but 24 seconds left to go, and it's still a 4-on-4. Incendiaries are going to go out, and we see Smoke stationed right inside. The pre-fire comes out. He's able to tuck himself right into the cave entrance, picks up one, downs the other. He will get the second kill onto it, and now it is all up to Blackbeard, who's inside the drop hatch. He drops in. Everyone is looking for him. He's able to get one, but cannot get the other, and it will be Valkyrie finishing off Carnage, and it's going to be the defenders taking round 2.
Yeah, we can pretty much attribute that round entirely to BNG. That was really great play. He never let up, and he expected to see exactly what happened. He saw those incendiary bullets coming before they even landed on the floor. He knew they were going to try and get him out from behind server, so he didn't play behind server, and his prediction paid off, and really, honestly, just won the engagement full on. It was great.
So he got a 3K there. It was very well done, very well executed. What I liked seeing about him was typically people see 2 spots inside a server. They see right behind the server, right behind the main server area, and also right close on the door, a hard left on the door. Now, Smoke was able to find a little nook and cranny in the cave entrance without being detected as if he was outside, and I think that is the best spot for him to get the upper hand on the people pushing down server stairs.
Definitely.
So for those that didn't see, let's take a quick look over here in server. Now, this is what we were talking about. Behind servers is the primary spot that you're going to expect to see somebody. Inside of this little nook and cranny next to this bench is the other spot. And after, I believe it was Capital pushed in, he saw he wasn't at server, looked a hard left into the corner, and missed Smoke, who was right inside this cave entrance. You can see the little black sliver as the cave connects into the entrance point there. That's where he was hidden. That allowed him to get into cover without being detected.
You know, it's funny. Capital actually came around the corner, pre-fired where he was. Didn't get the hit marker because he was so far back. He was actually behind cover and then just kind of looked away.
Yep.
You can kind of feel bad for him, to be honest.
Yeah, it was unfortunate for Capital, but very fortunate for Smoke.
Yeah. Now this is interesting. Again, we're seeing more people play in the garage. You know, I could get behind it. I understand. I mean, it's covering a lot of ground. I just don't. I'm not really 100% with it. Most teams don't even pressure garage.
Yeah. And we had talked about how maybe Smoke isn't the best operator. If you
Probably
do want to
the
put
worst.
someone in garage, okay, but not Smoke.
Yeah, probably the absolute worst operator you could possibly put in the garage.
All you need is a nice ACOG scope, and you can hold garage.
I would say a rook. A rook would be optimal.
Yep.
You don't even want to use a dock back there because then you're wasting dock's utility. Yeah, no, there's a cause for concern with that, but they'll make it work, I'm sure.
Yeah, and here we have Jay and Valkyrie inside a server. Now, Digital is over here with the shotgun at the bottom of the stairs, and we had seen Valkyrie use an MPX at the stairs and a shotgun behind the servers, and it didn't work out for either of the Valkyries. Yeah. So now it seems that the teams here have kind of worked it out and decided, let's go with the shotgun on the stairs, and I think that's the best option here.
Makes a whole lot more sense. There's a much more close-range engagement on the stairs, and it's just one way. You know, it's a giant tunnel, so basically there's not a whole lot for the guy with the shotgun to think about. He doesn't need to adjust his aim at all. He doesn't need to hit any tight angles. It's pretty simple.
Yeah, and we see Rock's drone able to get downstairs, spots Jaeger, and we see the drop hatch was opened up. So here we're going to have Rock potentially drop. Smokes are going to go out. I don't think she spotted Pulse, though. Pulse is right here with the heartbeat sensor in hand, spots one.
Now we're seeing the same attack coming out from them again this round. It's unorthodox, it's different. I like it, but I want to know from 3-Sup, are they going to be able to adjust? Will they have figured it out? I mean, it's the same exact thing, so I'd be interested to see how they handle this.
Oh, Capital comes down the main stairs and picks off Rook as he's just a little bit slow on the gunfire here. Ash is still above the drop hatch, finally drops, and Pulse is going to see that. Might throw the C4 out, but it's going to be Digital and Rock going at it here in the red hall. Jay's able to pick up the shots onto Strata, though. BNG still up top on the drop hatch. Noble now able to wallbang Jay, but Valkyrie comes around and picks off the kill with the shotgun. It's now a 3-on-3, 30 seconds remaining here. BNG's going to have to drop here eventually. But we do have Sledge inside of the garage trying to play against Hope. Gas grenade goes out. He looks left, looks right. Finally, he will down him and finish him off. There is Perception in the main hall now, looking towards Red Hall, picks up the shots, but cannot land them onto Digital. 2-2, 14 seconds remaining. BNG's finally going to drop here, and Pulse still sitting inside a vault. Valkyrie's all up to her inside of red, spots one, but will be downed in the process. 3 seconds left. Diffuser is not planted, and it will be the Defenders winning round 3 with Pulse sitting inside a vault, not having to do a thing other than give some information.
You know, I really like what I saw from the attackers there. I do like that strat. Even when Jay dropped in to go and pressure the site, they had someone on the drop above her, or above Ash, covering in the flank, waiting for that Pulse to push. And that's why I like what I saw from Pulse even more, because he didn't push. He saw, okay, well, there's someone watching for it. They're ready for me. They know I'm here. And he didn't risk it, and he didn't need to, rightfully so. And he played the patient game, ended up winning it for his team. I really like that.
Yeah, I think one of the things about the smokes that people don't realize is, okay, it gives you the cover, but if you're smoking out a person and that smoke is still persistent, you're going to have to eventually go and fight that person.
Yeah.
And you're going to have to run through your own smoke unless you can wallbang it. But they didn't know exactly where Pulse was. They just knew he was somewhere back there.
Yeah.
So with that, Noble takes the middle bomb site in an open area.
Oh, this is interesting.
A little different, but like we've said in the past, Xbox has seemed to kind of go half and half with choosing Teller and Archives as well as the open area.
You know, I can see it work. There are options when it comes to this. It looks, based upon how they're opening up those drops, it looks like kind of the plan must be to utilize downstairs, try to use those stairs for the quick flank, and you can get a really quick flank off of those. So it makes sense. I'm interested to see if it pays off for them. Obviously, we have claymores now, so I'm not really sure if it will actually end up working. It's, you know, 2 lanes. There's not a whole lot you can do with it.
Yep.
There's just 1 claymore on each, and you're kind of locked out. But I don't know. I want to see. I really want to see if it's going to pay off. I want to know if the attackers are going to see, okay, they're trying to use the basement. Let's just put some claymores at the top of the stairs.
Yeah, and one of the things about the stairs, though, that I want to mention here is the banisters on them, you can actually see through them. They're
Yep.
railings, so it's not a solid, oh, hey, I'm coming around the corner, I don't even get a chance to see the claymore.
Yep.
They might be able to shoot the claymore, but again, it's going to give away their position for the flank.
Yeah.
But Frost is going to make an appearance here instead of the smoke, which we saw last round.
I mean, it makes sense. Smoke is good for holding off tunnels and the like. He's good at delaying that. But we're talking about open office here. I mean, it's a pretty big open site. Honestly, I would still go with the smoke because I think he brings a whole lot of utility to the team. But when it comes, you know, I could see use out of Frost because what is she doing? We talked about it on when we were playing on Hereford in Europe earlier, and you know, she denies people access
Rushing.
to like windows and rushing and
Yep.
like that because, like, for example, the guy on delivery, he got caught by a bear trap. Why? Because he had to keep his eyes forward while he was moving in through that window. It's the same thing on the windows that you have for open office, and that's one of the main issues with open office is the accessibility from outside. So that she's nullifying that in a sense.
Yeah, now Sledge has managed to make his way into the trading room up top and will open up some of the floor, giving just a little bit of pressure, taking away a little bit of an angle from the defenders.
So this is what's dangerous with defending open office and tellers, both. It's the same issue on both. But at the same time, and this is really bad for the attackers, is they don't have a buck. So I don't expect to see much use out of these holes as you get that problem with Sledge a whole lot, is he will only go through 1 layer. And you can get it so it'll go through both, but it's you know, it's tricky.
Yeah, and if you sit there multiple times, you can actually see the floor and the dust from it from
Yep.
underneath, so you can easily get C4'd if you're not careful.
Yep.
But here we have Carnage holding a long angle from Blackbeard down by the elevator hallway into the open area of A bomb. Now, no one from the defensive team is moving too much, but Jaeger's able to get spotted from underneath, and with that, Pulse is actually going to come up, and Carnage, boom, just barely misses some shots, and not quite sure Godkin is going to be able to engage effectively against the Blackbeard here.
This is just about the opposite Pulse play of what we saw from last round. The other team, 3-sub, played a lot more passively.
Oh, and Carnage is looking up the stairs, but Godkin holds the tight angle and is able to get the drop onto him. Great job, Godkin, finishing up Carnage. Beastly, though, trading it off on a noble Perception. And with that, it is one attacker left alive. Digital picks up 1 kill. He's going to have to pick up 3 more, but cannot. BNG is there to get the trade and get the kill and get the win.
Yeah, not a whole lot to say about that. The attack seemed a little bit all over the place, and again, they did not have a buck. Now, I don't see any reason to not bring buck to the table when we're attacking any site that's above basement. There's so much destructibility going on there. It's almost a totally different map. So I think what happened there is because they didn't have the buck, they only had Sledge to play with. They didn't have a whole lot of options when they were. They had control of above, sure, and you'd think, okay, well, they're going to open up and they're going to debunk the site, but no, because they don't have that capability. So, you know, they took control of above. They denied that roamer, but what ended up happening is the roam from below. They couldn't get the claymores down because they didn't have control of the stairs, and it ended up just paying off for the defenders. I like what they were doing with that. The defenders with that dynamic on the roam with the drops open. It gives them a whole lot of options, and honestly, if you're going to do it to a team that doesn't know, you know, they don't expect it, it is a good way to throw them off.
Yeah, and so earlier in the day when we were casting the EU Xbox, we saw Team Infused go up against Epsilon, and the first attack round on Hereford, we saw a Fuse. Now, Fuse wasn't the best choice there on the bottom bomb site of Hereford, but do you think he's viable here when it's not the basement bomb site? Because you said it is very vertical. The entire floor up here is breachable. You're able to place the Fuse charges. Do you think we could potentially get a Fuse in here?
You know, I want to say Fuse is viable. I want to be that guy. I want to be like, yeah, no, totally. You can go ahead and use a Fuse. But to be completely honest, there's no reason to use a Fuse over a buck. Because what is a buck, or what is a Fuse doing? Fuse is denying an area for a number of seconds. What is a Buck doing? Buck can open up the entire floor and cover pretty much the whole site, all the key locations used to defend it for the whole round.
Ooh, and Jaeger goes for a heavy push outside on the top of Garage, and we'll pay the price for it. Strata also picking up the shots onto Digital. It's going to be the defenders not being able to secure any kills here at the very start of the round, as Strata and Rock have both managed to get kills while also taking quite a bit of damage themselves. Now it looks as though Rock might be trying to find a roof he can jump off of to get downed and picked back up by his teammate. And I think that's going to be the best option, seeing as how they have plenty of time now that they've gotten so many kills early on. Looking at the remaining 3 defenders, they're stuck inside of the bomb sites, partially surrounded, but the Valk cams that have been put up are going to give intel even when the normal cams have been destroyed, and that's what is going to keep their team alive and give them a potential chance here with the remaining seconds left.
Absolutely winnable. I mean, only half the round is transpired, which is unfortunate for the defenders. But they have the numbers they need. 3 is just fine to hold this site as long as they don't get pressured too much from above. And again, no Buck. So.
Yeah, and there's Carnage trying to trade it off. He picks up 1 kill, and that's going to even it out just a little bit. A 4-3 right now. Still a minute 24 to go. The wall outside of Teller gets opened up, and that's going to secure half the bomb site for the defenders, or for the attackers. But Hopes has managed to make his way outside into the open hallway, or open lobby, and now he's in the top floor looking for the flank from behind. Beastly gets the C4 from underneath onto Godkin, and Carnage will also pick up the shots into Perception. It's now in favor of the defenders as it's a 3-2, when just moments ago it was a 5-3. Here we have it, 55 seconds left to go. Hopes is coming down the back stairs here. He's just holding off on the very last moment. Beastly inside of A, looking for Strata to push his way in. They're both prone, but Strata's able to get the shots onto him. Rook's gonna push on out here, and he's gonna not get the shots just yet. Looks as though Hopes decided, I better come back downstairs from the way I came. He's now inside of the archives, and it's all up to Carnage now, who's inside of A, and Doc trying to get some angles here, as right on the other side of the wall, he spots Capital, was able to down him before he downs Carnage, and now it's a 2-1, 20 seconds remaining. It's all up to Thatcher, but Hopes is there to get the shots onto him, and it is a 5-3 turnaround clutch here for Noble. I mean, for 3-sub.
You know, I like what I saw from Hopes there. For some reason, we saw him roaming earlier, which is a little confusing. He's a Doc, probably the last class you want to use to roam. But he applied the pressure. He made his presence known. I think he may have even gotten a kill on the roam, and then he brought himself back to the site for those last seconds. And we talked about it earlier. Is like when you're attacking, or when you're defending tellers rather, there's not a whole lot you need to cover. 2 doors and maybe a wall if they open it.
Yep.
So 3 perfectly capable of defending tellers by themselves.
Yeah, and we saw Jaeger, I believe it was droned out underneath, unless it was the previous round before that. And I think a lot of attackers are very aware of the flanks, and Doc, I think, made a wise choice as putting a little bit of pressure, but then deciding to come back.
Oh yeah.
But we do have the bottom bomb site being chosen, as Noble didn't get a chance to successfully hold their last round.
Yeah, no, this will be the round to put them in the advantage, put them in the 4-2. I mean, obviously we're talking about a basement defense. I'd like to see how they handle this. Was it Noble who was doing the attack that's coming from tellers, or was it 3-sub?
So Noble just got done their attack round, and they were able to not hold it.
Yeah, I want to see what they're going to do with this. I think for the most part, they're focusing on what they should. They have a smoke in server, which makes a whole lot of sense. I think it was Pulse who was playing on the stairs. Yeah, playing on the stairs with a shotgun. And you know, this team has been pressuring server, so it makes a lot of sense. I'm sure it'll pay off for them probably this round. Although last time when we had Pulse playing on the server, I think they used 3 grenades to debunk him.
Yes.
They used 3, and that's good. You know, he's doing his job. He's getting rid of utility, and that causes a lot of mayhem on the attacker side. But it's also he gave up the position when he didn't really need to. And I want to see if he can hold those stairs a little bit tighter instead of trying to wait for them to get all the way down the stairs. Try and contest them in the middle of the stairs maybe. Because he'll probably end up getting a kill that time. I think he got a little unlucky last time with Sledge was prone, so who knows.
Yeah, and so with this, Rock, I mean, you see the ADS there. He's, again, expecting the nades to come his way.
Yeah.
But Jay is just sitting on the balcony or outside on the ledge. On drone, it looks like.
I bet you that Pulse really wishes he could run outside right now.
With that, though, Jay finally spots Pulse and moves on in successfully. And now he's going to work his way down as Beastly is covering the kitchen way. As Rock, let's take a quick look at Rock, because Rock now knows that there's two guys out here. Spots Beastly, will go out for the push.
Whoa.
Nade comes out, but the nade will finish off Rock as Jay is able to secure the kill.
You know, let's talk a little bit about the mentality of what Pulse just did. Obviously, last round, what happened on this basement defense for Pulse? Well, he died. He lost the engagement. He straight up died. He couldn't contend it at all. And you know, going into that next round, he wanted to do better. He wanted to get a kill. He wanted to prove to his team that he could hold that. And that sort of mentality, I think, is what ended up getting him killed, because there was no reason. Sure, you know he's there. You know that they are playing above that drop. There is no reason.
You've been droned out. You know that, hey, you might have the hop on one, but you've got angles being held on you for the others.
Yeah. I don't see any reason to actually pressure that at all. He could have just stayed on the stairs, maintained his presence, and probably gotten a pick or two.
Ooh, and there goes two smokes. The third smoke not in the best placement, but Beastly managed to make his way into the bomb site. BNG picks up a kill as well as Strata onto Carnage. It's now a 2-on-4 trade-off here as Beastly was injured, and so was, I believe that was Jaeger, but I think Doc got him back up, has boosted him beyond 100 health, and the last remaining standing attacker is going to be top floor. Picks off the kill onto Valkyrie, and now it's a 1-on-3, 15 seconds left to go. Looks for the shots onto Strata, picks up one, but it's smoked there inside the server, able to get the shots as he drops.
That was a weird round. Pretty clear, pretty big. I don't know. I honestly can't say what happened there. They got the drop open. They started applying pressure from above. That didn't get countered. Then the guys coming into server, I guess, kind of just got rolled. Or they kind of forced their way into the site before the smokes even went down. Some guys came down the drop. I don't know. I don't know what to make of that attack. I would have liked to see from the attackers them take it a little bit slower. You know, ease up on the, you know, apply some brakes there. They had enough time to take their time with like opening up the wall from the server side, get the plant down, you know, use those smokes. And another thing, Thermite, he laid down those smokes and he had every chance to plant the bomb. He was getting pressured, sure, but that's why I would have liked to see, instead of Capital running through that drop, I would have liked to see him in the server supporting his teammates and allowing that bomb plant to go down, maybe with some fire arrows or smoke arrows.
Yeah, and like you had said, unfortunately, he managed to get in, but just didn't do anything with it.
I mean, you're going to die instantly dropping through there.
Yep.
There's how many people watching that? The whole defensive team?
Yeah.
So, like, what's the plan there?
So, with that, it will be match point here for Noble Esports. Now, Noble coming on strong. It's a 4-2, and I think they're ready to take this win. Now, they're playing attack on the bottom bomb site, so it might be a little difficult, a little something for them to overcome, but their strats in the past have, one paid off one round, the other one didn't so much, and that was their vault push, their elevator push, their lobby push, the unorthodox attack strat here. And I'm curious, are they going to go for it again? Because I think 3Sup's ready for it. Yeah,
3Sup, obviously, they saw it the first round. The second round, like you said, they were ready for it. They applied counter strat, and it worked. So, yeah, no, I mean, honestly, it could work again. You know, who knows? The defense or the attack could work again. It really comes down to winning those engagements. We saw a couple lost engagements, and I think it's really why they lost that. Because 3Sup, sure, they knew it was coming, and they were ready for it, but they didn't change up their defensive strat a whole lot. They put the pulse in the vault, and I think that's, you know, again, that's what ended up winning them around. But it's not a huge change. And I don't know. I'd like to see that same attack from them again, just a little bit better execution.
Yeah, and so Godkin again upstairs inside of the stock trading room, and just opening up the drop hatches, making it easy for him to get down if he needs to. Now, there hasn't been any roamers that we've really seen on either of the teams just yet.
Yeah, it's interesting how he's taking his time with this. He really does not want to get, first of all, a camera, or second of all, a roamer. I'm not sure why he came from all the way upstairs, but, you know, I'm sure he's got his reasoning.
Yeah, and with that, we see Valkyrie with her shotgun at the bottom of the stairs, inside a server, on cam. And this cam is nice. It's going to allow them to realize, hey, okay, we see Thermite moving on over here. He's going to get the drop hatch right above me. Now, am I going to push out and go for it, or am I just going to sit inside a server? And I think what he's going to do is just sit inside of the stairwell.
No, we're seeing a lot more patience, just like universally. I think we're seeing a lot more patience from 3-Sup than we are from the other team. So I kind of like that they're taking their time. They're not trying to force out any issues, unlike the team. So it really gives you this air of like, okay, we really want to win this. We don't want to go down here. It applies this air of confidence to them.
Yep, and so there it is. The push, we see Valkyrie on the stairs. Ash tries to go on in, but it's Valkyrie with the shots onto her. He's going to try to go for a second kill, though, as he's able to get the one, but Perception is just holding a nice angle right there. Noble's looking at the bottom of the stairwell to see if Digital's going to pop out. However, I think BNG's going to get a little bit of a greedy there. C4 goes out, but doesn't get blown up in time, and it's going to be Valkyrie getting killed by BNG. Moving on over to Perception, he's looking through the drop hatch, doesn't see anybody, but I don't think he's looking close enough because there is a Jaeger down there, but he will be killed in the process of rotating around to get Thermite's drop. Gas grenade goes out, but Thatcher tries to push on in, 15 seconds remaining, it's all up to Perception, and very awkward kind of push, but he's able to pick up one through the gas grenade. Second gas grenade goes out, third one goes out, and now he's gonna have to push in, but Smoke is there to pick up the kill and still keep 3-Sup in the lead here, or in the running to get a point.
Yeah. No, I wanted to say what we saw from Valkyrie on that stairs is what I would have liked to see from Pulse, but then she did the same thing that Pulse did. She backed off the 90-degree hard angle. So when you're playing in those stairs, you're holding that door, it is almost impossible to lose an engagement from a rifle coming around that corner. You can just sit there, hold it hard with a shotgun, and never lose that. As long as you don't get a grenade to the face, you'll be fine. So that's why I like what they're saying. I'm seeing with from Noble, they put the Jaeger device there, but at the same time they don't utilize it. They don't try to play around it. They just they get the Pulse is getting too aggressive, and it's the opposite with Valkyrie. She's playing passively. She's playing smart. But there's no Jaeger device.
She kind of got a little bit of too much room by staying at the bottom of the stairs. Now Pulse was staying middle to top, and Valkyrie was middle to bottom, and I think that extra distance cost her.
Yeah, there's no she had a freaking a C4 out. There's no reason to have C4 out, none whatsoever. Yeah,
I mean, I kind of was expecting Thatcher to just look through the bottom drop hatch and keep an eye on the stairs because you had Capital watching the top of the stairs, so you had a nice pinch off. But it looks, I think Thatcher just went for the push and
just kind of went for it.
It worked out for him.
Speaking of which, I'm not sure why, but we're seeing from these teams commonly they'll run into an angle they know is being held.
Yes.
I understand they did it last round. I understand there was 15 seconds left. There's no reason to do that whatsoever. It's always winnable. There's never you don't have to you don't have to kill yourself. You can keep playing the round and try and actually win it. There's no reason to run into the site. I understand they're gonna get smokes down. But they're holding that angle, dude. You know where they're holding that angle. Pre-fire it, and that's what we saw from Thermite. He did just that. He pre-fired it, and opened it up. I think it was a 2v2 if Thatcher hadn't run in. So yeah, I don't know. I would like to see more slow, methodical play from some of these guys.
Yeah, and I think that comes with practice. It comes with just working on a map, and seeing as how we haven't seen too much of this map in the beginning weeks of the season.
Yeah, we've seen a lot lately.
We've seen a lot lately in the past 2 weeks, but in the beginning of the season, we haven't seen much of it. So maybe this is a map that's just recently been worked on.
Yeah.
And there's still some kinks to work out from the different strats and defensive holds.
Yeah.
But again, we're going to see a nice top floor clear. Bomb sites inside of the open area on the main floor, though. So taking over the top floor inside of the stock trading room is going to be, I believe, what Digital is planning to do here.
One thing I will say that I really like that I'm seeing from both of these teams is that they are clearing the whole map. Bank is a big map, so it's honestly, it's impressive feat.
Oh, and there's Pulse right underneath. Utilizing the heartbeat sensor, realizes that, hey, no one's here just yet, but I heard the sledge.
And Digital going ahead and explaining to us why it's better to have Buck on this map than Sledge.
Yes, once again. So Sledge is here, utilizing that drone, spots Pulse. Now he says, Pulse is out of here, I'm going to go back in for another hit on the wall, or on the floor. And meanwhile, Beastie, I believe, opened up a wall.
Ooh, now this is interesting from 3-Sup. Beastly putting down that Claymore. Now this is what, we talked about this a while ago. sure, they have the drops open. They're going to try and utilize downstairs to their advantage. Well, what do? You put a Claymore on the stairs, and they figured it out. They put a Claymore on the stairs. Good for them.
Yep, definitely. And so that works out fantastically for them. Hopefully it might catch somebody. Hopes, though, is going to pick up the first kill of the round onto Strata. Now, seeing as how the admin office has been cleared out and walls opened up, they can't plant in there, but they can force their way in should they need to, because there are 40 seconds remaining. Digital is in the drop hatches right above the A-bomb site, about to spot Pulse, but he gets out of the way. Rock able to get the shots onto Hopes as Jay trades it off onto Perception. Nades will go flying out towards BNG. Not gonna hit him though, but it will spook him out to the back of Kitchen. Beastly though gets that Claymore kill onto Rock, coming up from the flank from behind. Godkin gets the shots onto Beastly, and Digital will get BNG. With that, it's now a 2-on-1 as Pulse is the last one alive, coming in from the Kitchen. Jay right behind the counter, able to get the defuse down in time. Take a quick look over here at Sledge, looking over towards Godkin. Now this is where Godkin needs to pull out that heartbeat sensor, maybe get an intel or two, but he might also give away his position by doing so.
I think Godkin's a little worried about somebody playing in the lone office, when he shouldn't be.
There comes some ghost shots through the wall, spooking Godkin. Now he doesn't know what to do. He's going to make a push here shortly. He has to, because the diffuser is down, but now he's finally been spotted, and Jay will pick up the kill onto Godkin's face as it is round 8, going to 3-sup, and is now, I believe, 4-4. It's tie game. 3-sup managing to win the last 2 rounds.
Yeah, no, that was interesting from Godkin. Okay, so he got the pick from the drop. And he was like, that was a good pick. It denied the attackers quite a lot of time. But what then happened is he was...
Oh, here we have a disconnection from 3-sup. Now, we did have overtime. Still 4-4, so...
I think there was a drop earlier in the round.
No, we have 4-4 right here. I don't believe there was a drop.
No, a player.
Oh, earlier in that round, okay.
Yeah.
Well, in any case, here we have Noble. Yeah, so we'll be remaking the lobby here as we figure out what's going on with the disconnects, and we're gonna have to reform. So we'll shoot back in just a minute. We'll come back here in just a minute after a quick break. But we saw some good comeback from 3-sup, and you called that Claymore play perfectly there.
Yeah, no, the Claymore. You don't want to say that the Claymore ended up winning them that round, but you know it could have easily just held it. They had the manpower at that point. What I'm interested in is Godkin, his play with Pulse. Now he got that kill on the Thermite from the drop.
Yep.
He had 2 options at that point. He had the bomb. He could have either A, tried to hold it, but that was the more dangerous play, to be honest. Or he could have B, did exactly what he ended up doing and tried to flank around back into sight and apply pressure to the defenders or the attackers as they try to plant the bomb. What's interesting to me is that he was looking towards where he got that kill. And if we're talking about like the way the attackers' minds are working, their teammate just died by that drop. They're not. They're nowhere near that. They planted in the middle of the site. There's no question about that. So I'm curious. Like I'm not sure why Godkin ended up looking that way.
Yeah, and so guys, with that, we will take a short break, just 1, 2, 3 minutes or so. We'll be right back after these quick messages from Rainbow Six. Welcome back, everybody. We're here for the overtime matchup between Noble and 3Sup. Now, Noble eSports has had a 4-2 lead. They could have secured this round, but they just couldn't put it on the board. 3Sup managing to tie it up, and we're in here into overtime now.
Yeah, it was really close. Honestly, we're seeing some really unorthodox play from Noble. It's hard for me to critique it. For example, playing in the open office. Now, that's really interesting to me personally. I see why they're doing it. I understand. I get it. It makes sense. They're trying to open up those drops, utilize them to defend the site. But you could equally do that from Tellers, and it's a little bit more conservative, and it gives you, okay.
And there is ROC, unfortunately being disconnected right towards the loading of the operator selections, and that's going to force Noble to back out here. Now, we just got back after a commercial of re-hosting this, so hopefully we'll be able to get back here shortly. It's going to be another 2-3 minute break here, unfortunately, while we get everyone back in lobby. But I mean, well, before we go on a break, we see overtime happening. We know that basement is going to be the most likely choice to be chosen here. Do you think that there's going to be, you think Noble's going to make the same push they have in the past, where they go through the vault, go through the elevators, and go through garage? Or do you think they might try more of a standard push?
I expect to see the same one. It seems like they're kind of running the same thing over and over again, and that could work. It makes sense. It's a good attack strat. There's nothing wrong with it, and it's still more different and more likely to succeed than just a server attack. It really just comes down to whether or not they're going to win those engagements. And one thing to note about that attack is it is basically pivotal on the fact that defenders are not playing the drops.
Yeah.
If they are playing the drops, there's not a whole lot you're going to do as an attacker, because where else are you pressuring? The stairs? So like that's not going to give you options. That's not going to debunk someone from just sitting underneath a drop with a shotgun or something like that. So I don't know. I'm interested to see how they're going to attack it. But obviously 3Sup does have the advantage going into this, because they're going to be able to defend basement first.
Correct.
And that, hopefully, maybe for 3Sup will give them the round advantage.
Yeah, and we'll have to see the conclusion of those matches once we get back here after a quick break, guys. So stick around. We'll be right back after a few short minutes. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are here for the overtime map on the first map of the series here between 3Sup and Noble Esports. Now, this map is taking place on Bank. It's currently 4-4 with 3Sup coming back in the lead, or coming back to tie after a 4-2 deficit.
It was quite the comeback, to be honest. I mean, Noble kind of let it go a little bit there, but you got to credit 3Sup for that great comeback from 4-2.
And with that, we are getting underway in the operator selection, and we're seeing the same operators chosen every time from each of these teams, and I like that. I think that means that they've solidified what they want to do.
I would like it, but I'm seeing Sledge and not Buck, and it doesn't make a whole lot of sense, to be honest.
Huge fan of the Buck here.
Well, no, it doesn't make any sense. And they're on a basement attack right now. Technically speaking, if we think about it, it doesn't make sense for either of them. So, in terms of destructibility, though, when we're talking about a map like this, where the main factor of your reasoning here has to be verticality, right? Not so much on the basement attack, but at least on the tellers and cubicle attack. The Sledge doesn't give you that. I think we've seen it twice now. We've had a Sledge upstairs trying to open up above, and oh, look at that, doesn't work.
Yeah, I think my understanding of what they're trying to do with Sledge and what we've seen Sledge do every time there's been a bomb site on the bottom has been he wants to clear top. And while Buck is better for verticality play, Sledge is better for maneuvering through walls that you can breach through, because you're able to open up a wall without having to waste 2, 3, 4 shotgun shells to actually get through.
Honestly, they kind of get the same job done, in my opinion. I mean, those extra shells don't mean a whole lot when you're talking about, if we're talking about especially a basement attack, like you're not going to use them for anything else. But I mean, I can understand that the reasoning here. It makes you're right. It makes sense. It's just I don't know.
There are potentially better operator choices, let's say.
Yeah, no, I would pick a Twitch or a Blackbeard, something to give them a little bit of use on the basement attack.
Now Strata pre-firing the wall from the lone office here to where someone might be peeking out from the open office, but we don't see anyone there. The only person we do see lurking potentially is going to be Digital. Now Digital was just on the stairs, but I think she's just going to stay here for the time being.
I really like the way Digital's been playing these stairs, except for that C4 toss, but I think that was a little bit unlucky on on Digital's part, to be honest.
And with that same Valcam placement, the attackers have not spotted this yet, so it's doing its due diligence by sitting in here. Beastly underneath of the elevators, spots the drop hatch getting opened up by Thermite right above him. And we saw Beastly actually win a round here by just sitting in this corner where he's sitting right now. He just played very passively as the smoke grenades went down towards him.
I want to know if the attackers are going to let him do that again, or if they're going to apply pressure, if they're going to throw some grenades in there. Oh, and here's the Jaeger.
With that, the other reinforced, or the other wall, or the other exothermic charge used to open up the elevator drop hatch. Now, with that, you can automatically tell they're going for this kind of push. You see 2 inside of the vault. They've both been spotted out. Perception's able to spot out Jaeger. I believe he spotted out Pulse to his left. Potentially, we'll have to wait and see. But with that, now seeing as how Perception has utilized both of his exothermic charges, he's now a fragger.
Yeah.
Doesn't need to play passively. He's just a 2-speed fragger.
Bomb located by attacker.
Yeah, and we're seeing the exact same attack we saw last time. It's not working out, it looks like this time.
Carnage will get the shots onto Perception. Rock drops through the hatch, but will be downed, but not out just yet. Capitao is going to try to pick him up, but Jay is there to pick off the kill from the vault. It's now up to Sledge and Thatcher. He's still injured over there inside of the vault. But Godkin inside garage, BNG over here on his drone getting intel. It's 4-on-2, 30 seconds left to go because Ash is still down but not out just yet. Looking at both of the attackers there inside of garage, pushing on in. Sledge is the first one to move. He gets it into the bomb site, pre-fires into Red Hall, hopes, just narrowly missing the shots, but Godkin finally finishes off 3Sup. And now Godkin tries to go for a second kill. Jaeger comes on down the hall and picks it up, and it will be Beastly also getting the shots onto BNG. And there it is, Jay getting 2 kills there as Beastly picks up another.
We talked about it earlier. The problem with that attack is the way to counter it is to just point your gun in the direction that they're coming from. Point your gun at the bottom of those drops, because there's not a whole lot they can do coming out of that as an attacker. I mean, they're pressuring the stairs and they're pressuring the garage, even if they get enough pressure in there to push forward, and they did that after they went through the drops, but even if they do that, like they're not helping out those drops a whole lot. And yeah, to be honest, they need to be taking the garage push. They need to take the stairs push before they open up and go through those drops. I mean, you can open them up, just don't go through them. I mean, you have no support from your team. You're isolated. You're not the airborne. Okay, this is not World War II. So take your time, be slow about it, be methodical, execute the strat in more organized fashion. They could have won that round. They had good pressure coming out from garage.
Yeah, and I mean, we saw the same push as before.
Yeah.
Defense was able to adjust and just stop it.
It really
put a halt to it.
All it comes down to is turning their guns around and looking in the other direction, because it's even more confined than attacking server. I mean, server, that's saying something, because server is like, look at that, it's tiny. So take your time, execute the strat, and get the timing down.
And so with that, it will be 5-4 with 3-sub leading the way.
Yeah. And honestly, the 3-sub, I think they've been attacking server this whole time. I expect to see it again from them. Honestly, I think if they do their execution right on the server attack, they could easily lock it out, even on a basement defense. And one of the reasons I say that is because here is ROC, crazy aggressive, like for no reason that I can conjure. I mean, even on the stairs, he was. You saw him last time. He got super aggressive. He pushed out, and I'm guessing that what he wants to do is he wants to get those frags.
And he wants to get that Capital, who's been sitting on that window for so darn long.
He
thought
to
he
run
might
out.
be able to do it, but now he's just decided, let's back it up a bit.
If they ever match up against each other again in like a go-for or something, I expect somebody on Noble to run out to get Jay as he repels on that side of the building every round, because he does it every round.
Every round. All right, and with this, Rock spotted Jay moving on in. He's now at the bottom of the stairs here, inside of the Skylight stairwell. Now, Paul, we talked about it before. He's getting overly aggressive at times. Nades might be flying in towards him.
I really don't want to see ROC run out right now. Like, that would just be depressing.
All right, and here he is. He's been droned out. I don't think he actually got the drone. I think it flew down behind him. But in the meantime, though, he's just going to stay at the top of the stairs. This is what's different about him and Valkyrie on the other side. We're going to have ROC staying at the top of the stairs, holding a tight angle, and Valkyrie actually played that softer, that longer angle at the bottom of the stairs.
That's the difference. This is the right way to hold it. If he just stays there, calms down, and holds it.
He's getting antsy. Yep.
He's not going to lose an engagement with the rifle coming around that corner.
But there it is. Digital playing Sledge picks up the shot onto his brethren. BNG playing Smoke, and there's a 5-on-4 at the moment. Looking in good hands of 3-sub. So if they can secure this, they get 1 point, and we move on to the next map here. And just a little spotted of the drone will cause ROC to still get a little bit more hectic. Jay's going to throw that incendiary.
Oh, no.
And Rock gets overly aggressive once again and will pay the price for it. Just caught way off guard with that arrow.
He got the arrow, and he reacted to it in the worst way possible. You don't rush out when you're getting pressured from a grenade or a fire arrow, for that matter. It's you fall back a couple feet. You keep alive. That's the essence of defense: staying alive and denying the enemy team the plant. There's no reason to pressure unnecessarily like that.
Yeah, 30 seconds left to go. There's no more exothermic charges here for Thermite, so the walls will stay intact, and they're going to have to make a push here because it is 5-on-3 at the moment. The defenders are holding the angles for the server push. They know there's one coming. And it looks as though Digital picks up one. Jay picks up another. It is now all up to Doc. The diffuser will go down, but no, just in time, Jay will get the kill into Godkin, and it will be 3-sub taking the first map here on Bank.
Yeah, that was a good take from 3-sub, but to be honest, again, this is what I talked about it at the beginning of the round. I saw Pulse up there. Too aggressive.
Way too aggressive.
Unnecessarily so. The defense is staying alive, denying the plan. I said it earlier. There's nothing else to it.
Yeah, he stepped a little bit. Oh, not a little. He stepped way out of bounds there, especially when he got encountered by that fire arrow.
Yeah.
But in any case, guys, let's take a quick look at the highlights to see how 3-sub just managed to get all the rounds here. Now, looking here, we see BNG lighting up, I believe that was Sledge in the garage tunnel there.
Oh, this was impressive from Thatcher.
Yeah,
I mean,
there was the clutch.
Yeah.
First round, nice job. And that's the angle we were talking about with BNG holding inside of the server. Doesn't get detected. He was able to pick up 2 kills there, so very nice job. Godking getting the smoke kill. And this was really nice by Godkin. He played the very tight, the very low angle on Blackbeard, who was looking up the stairs, and just annihilated him. Meanwhile, over here, Hopes was able to get the shots in the clutch there for his own team as they held the behind Tellers and Archives.
You know, it's funny is you watch these highlights and you think to yourself, oh, obviously Noble won this, right? Because they got some amazing frags. They really did. Some great gameplay coming out from Noble. But I just feel like their strats left something not, it just wasn't there.
Yep.
They were a little bit, I mean, very unorthodox with both their attack and their defense strats, but it seemed like they weren't really refined. It seemed like they weren't practiced nearly enough.
Yeah, and that's one of the issues that a lot of teams have when you have to introduce new strats and new meta into a game is you don't get the opportunities to develop them as much as you have on the strats that you've been working on for months and months and months since Season 1, Season 2, and so on.
Yeah, no, a team like Youngtis, for example, what they do is they go into a dry run and they spend hours and hours and hours and hours and hours refining a strat, thinking about all the different variabilities. It seems like these kinds of this team maybe they didn't have enough time to put into actually dry running Bank.
Yeah.
I mean, we know it's not one of the more popular maps. But I would like to.
I think it's making a comeback for one of the popular maps.
Oh yeah,
so, I mean,
in the coming these few weeks, it has been definitely very popular. But I don't know. I imagine they just probably didn't practice it enough. Is really what all it came down to.
Yeah, and so guys, with that, we do have to remake the lobby, seeing as how we had to rehost for the overtime, and we will be back in just a short minute while we get the second map underway, which is on Chalet today. So Chalet is going to be the second map between 3Sup and Noble Esports. So stick around, guys. We'll be right back after a quick break. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the North America Xbox Pro League Playday number 5, where we're here with Noble eSports and 3Sub Gaming. Now, we just got done our first matchup on Bank, and we're moving on to Chalet. Now, Chalet we haven't seen for a week or two.
Yep.
I'm looking forward to it because it was mostly Season 1 and Season 2 a PC map. It's made its way into the realm of Xbox One.
You know, I'm interested to see what's going to happen because from both these teams, we've been seeing Sledge and not Buck. And if you're not playing Buck on Chalet, I'm like, you might be on the wrong map, friend, because it's pretty much, it's one of the most, like, you know, destructible vertical maps in the game.
Mm-hmm.
So I expect to see that they'll probably play both, or maybe try to make it work with Sledge again, but I don't know. I'm interested to see how they pick it.
Yeah, and we know that there's typically only 2 bomb sites that are going to be chosen
Yep.
here. What do you think we'll see first?
Well, you're right. There typically are only 2, but there have been 3. Some people will play Master.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not partial to it personally. I don't think it's very viable. I mean,
Yeah.
I understand how they do it. You play it like it's Kitchen, but then it just becomes the simple equation of you're attacking Kitchen, so just attack Kitchen again.
Mm-hmm.
But I expect to see probably for the most part Trophy first. That
Okay.
seems to be the preferred site. It's pretty easy to hold, especially for B. You know, you can hold that window from most places in the site. You can hold it from the hallway. You can hold it from A. You can hold it from dining. You can hold it from in B. But you know, there are ways to get around it as an attacker, and usually the biggest point of contention is that B window. So, that's what I expect to see, but we'll find out.
Yeah, so as we take a look at the bomb sites here, we are getting underway in the match as we have 3Sub starting on attack and Noble starting on defense. Now, this option number 3 is going to be that wine cellar and that snowmobile bomb site, and option 4 is going to be that kitchen trophy.
Yeah.
No, it looks like you called it here. The kitchen trophy is going to be the starting bomb site. We can see that underneath of Valkyrie's icon there, and you can see the kitchen trophies what they're choosing.
And praise Lord Chanka, there is a buck.
There is a buck here, but there is no Chanka.
It's unfortunate.
Xbox was very well known to have a Chanka in Season 1. Made an appearance once or twice in Season 2, and I think he might have made 1 or 2 appearances here in Season 3. Man, I miss that guy.
Yeah.
Such a handsome devil.
Buff Lord Chanka, please. But anyway, we do see a buck, so that makes a whole lot of sense. I mean, we're playing Chalet. I would honestly be confused if we didn't. So I expect to see what's going to happen here. Probably this is what most teams do. Is they're more than likely they're going to try and take Master. They're going to take Office. They're going to deny the flanks from that balcony above the lobby, and then they're going to open up above the sites. Just try to debunk probably B. Obviously, you can't really open up above B, but what you can do is you can open up above that hallway just outside of B, and then come up from underneath, like grenade the guy who's playing in B, force them into the hallway, because that's where they default to typically, and then just get them picked off, and then you have access to the site.
So your predictions for Buck, is he going to be playing top down or bottom up? Is he going to be inside a garage shooting up into trophy, or is he going to be in office and master bedroom shooting down into kitchen and dining?
You know, it's interesting is when I played Buck on this map and on this attack, I actually did both. I would open up, I would spend all my bucks above, open up all above kitchen, open all above dining, above the hallway, do all those different things, and then I would go downstairs into the garage where we see Godkin now, and I would throw grenades at the guy in B. But it looks like Godkin's not going to let anyone do that. It looks like he's trying to hold it out.
Yeah, and I believe Thermite is... Ooh, there's a nice spot by Jay.
Buck
Seeing
knows.
Valkyrie drop right there. Now, Beastly's able to get the wall open up and picks off Godkin, who's downstairs inside of the garage. Great job by Thermite. Not even going upstairs just yet. It looks as though Jay is going to finish droning out the garage for him. Might make a push in here eventually. But with that, just as he gets off the drone, he heard it drop. Jay heard Valkyrie kick it to the ground here. I believe that was actually Frost that dropped, not Valkyrie. But he bolts out of the way and manages to get back onto site in time. With that, 1:50 to go. 4-5 right now, and we're seeing a lot of the attackers on the basement. However, we do see Jay managing to make his way up top. We talked about how he might play both sides here, and we see him here inside of battle.
Looks like he's just going to try and hold the flank from the basement, which doesn't make any sense really, because, I mean, yeah, sure, the drop's open, they're going to try and go for a late roam, maybe, but you just got to pick on Godkid in the basement, you know, their dedicated roamer's gone. So, and you can tell from digital that there's no one on the other end of the building. So, I'm not sure how to make of that hole. I mean, it makes sense if you do hear the drop, but I would like to see the Bucks spend elsewhere because one thing.
Ooh, and then she thought she had the upper hand on her. Carnage actually did get down, so Frost is going to peek out, trade it off. And so it wasn't all for lost, especially knowing that Blackbeard tries to dominate that window almost every single time. So although it cost him a person, I think it might have been good. But the wall does get opened up right next to Perception. I think he's just going to stay right here on this tight angle. Now the barrel of that shotgun might peek out just a little bit further than he's expecting, giving the attackers the advantage when it comes time to identify him. But Castle's over here downstairs in the back hallway, back by the snowmobile garage corridor. Very well hurt. Looks as though he got into quite a bit of a skirmish earlier.
It's a nice late roam. It's a good idea. Oh, this is bad. Now this, I think this was a mistake by ROC. I don't think he intended to do that. That's actually putting his teammate at a huge disadvantage. Now he has to hold the site by himself.
And there it goes. Capital pushes on him, but it will be frost trapped. BNG able to pick up Jay, but turns around and hopes is able to get Rock. With that, it's now a 2-on-1 as Castle is the last one alive with Beastly picking up Perception. Now Castle, BNG right here, top floor, 5 health. I'll call that 5 health. Gonna look through the holes that the attackers made to begin with, but Diffuser got planted. It is a 2.5-on-1. Sorry, now it's a 3-on-1, seeing as how they were able to pick up their teammate.
I like how BNG tried to go for the late roam there. I respect it. I think it was the right decision. But in the end, his teammates were getting into a skirmish, and he wasn't there to support them when they needed it.
Yeah, and Digital. Oh, actually, Digital fell as well, but Thermite is there to get the shots at the back of the trophy room, and BNG goes down with some bullets.
Yeah, no, that was a little bit of a he got in position to support his teammates as the attackers were pressuring through the wall. He didn't.
Yeah.
He just chilled, you know.
I was really hoping that he wasn't going to try to go off the balcony, because I believe that balcony does a 9 damage drop to you if you fall off, if you try to jump over it and vault and fall down.
Not if you fall in the fridge, but for the a lot of people don't even know that.
Yeah.
Like you can go all the way to the edge of the balcony, fall onto the fridge, and you'll be fine. But yeah, you're right.
There's a fridge outside?
No, there's a fridge in the lobby next to the front door.
Oh no, I'm talking about I'm talking about the balcony outside by Master, trying to come in from the trophy window.
Yeah.
You jump off there, you're going to lose 7 to 9 health, and I would have hated to have seen the round end in that manner.
That would have been a little sad.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being.
But really, all he needed to do that round is just apply some pressure from behind on the top of those west lobby stairs, and they could have easily won that round, or even shot the thermite charge as it was going off. But we're going to see a basement defense here from 3-sub. Now that's interesting that they'll pick up basement first. Obviously, it is totally preference. Both sites are completely viable on this particular map. They have the same exact issue, the fact that you can open up above the site. Now, typically speaking, on a basement defense, we don't see a whole lot of people opening up above because it's the lobby. The lobby's dangerous. I mean, there's so many different angles to play that as a defender to deny the attackers access to that. So, you know, a lot of times we'll just see a roamer. They'll play on the back stairs and they'll come up, or they'll even like the lobby stairs. They'll come up and shoot them as they're trying to open up above. So, I don't know, but there are ways to counter that. It just takes a lot of manpower to invest into specifically opening up above the site. Although I'd like to see it. Not a lot of teams do. Most teams, what they do is they'll either come from the wine hall, or they'll try and attack it from snowmobile and bar. But I don't know. I'd like to see somebody mix it up and try to take lobby control, deny the roamers access to lobby, and just block open the whole darn thing. Try to get access to site that way.
So now there's a bit of a pickle here. Strata thought he might be able to get inside, get the bandit charges, but they've brought a mute instead.
Yeah.
Strata can't find it in time.
Well, this is why you bring Thatcher, or grenades.
Or grenades.
Either one will work.
But here it is, Strata having to force his drone to go around all the way downstairs. Now, can it manage to make it down safely all the way to the garage? We'll have to see, because it did get a buff. It's now silenced without a red dot on it, but
it's probably
more
and there's
mute jammers right here.
Oh wow, the headshot.
Headshot from Twitch drone doesn't kill, confirmed.
Yep.
With that though, the jammer does get destroyed. I believe it might have been an ash charge going through and destroying it.
Something like that, yeah.
So
it was an ash charge.
With that, we see Rock rotating over towards the big garage where Godkin is waiting, and it looks as though they might be trying to go to open up some of the winery wall. I'm sorry, that's not Thermite. We were on Ash. But he is over here as well.
This is interesting. They're doing two different attacks mixed spliced into one. They're opening up the snowmobile, makes sense. They're trying to deny access to, I'm guessing, connector from that. And then they're going to open up the wine wall as if it were a typical wine attack. Now, what's interesting about it is, one thing is that since they used a thermite charge on the snowmobile, that means that they're not going to be able to use one on the closet, which means that they're not going to have the great crossfire, which makes the wine attack so viable.
Yeah, now this cam from Beastly, or the cam that Beastly is on, is giving a lot of really good intel. He knows that there's Godkin playing Blackbeard at the back tower, or back entrance point of wine here. The drone's going to go in from Rock to spot Pulse. Looks as though he might have seen it here. So with that, Pulse has no need to be on his heartbeat sensor. He's got no need to do anything else other than sit on this cam. The door is right there. He tries to go for the shots, but doesn't see it just yet. Rock moves on in, goes for the shots, and it will be. Looks as though Beastly picks up one. Can he pick up another? No, he will be injured in the process. Digital is able to pick off Rock, though.
Oh.
And Thermite tries to rush on in, but gets overly aggressive, and Carnage picks up the last kill on Strata. And 3-sub takes round 2.
Mute was so close to Thermite, they could have shaken hands.
Very close there.
That was a really nice gunplay from
Rook right there. Yep, very nice job. Looking towards the wine, realizing, hey, there's one outside of the snowmobile garage. Let's flick over there, and was able to pick off the kill.
I'm not sure what happened. I'm guessing it was probably a mute charge, but they didn't thermite open that wall. I think it ended up costing him the round. I like the way Pulse played that behind the shield. He peeked out only when it was absolutely necessary, and he got picked off, not even trying to aggress on the enemy. But what happened is because of him playing that so passively, it allowed his teammates to apply pressure while he was being pressured.
Yep.
Which, you know, they can just easily trade. A lot of people play this game like, okay, I need to kill everyone and I need to win the round. Well, no, if you got a team behind you, a lot of it comes down to just trading, trying to distract the enemy, and giving your teammates the opportunity to get the kills.
Yeah, and I think that's what a lot of people don't understand. I don't want to say a lot of people. There's some people that don't understand that it's not all about the kills you get. It's about the kills you allow your team to get.
Just in the end, it's about killing 5 people.
Yes.
It doesn't matter how they die. It doesn't matter who's killing them. It doesn't matter if it's their own freaking team. As long as those 5 people die, or you get the bomb plant and hold it out, you win the round. So, yeah, definitely. Play it smart. You don't have to get every single kill.
Yeah, I mean, just as kind of the Ubisoft and when they tweaked the who's going to get impact grenades, who's going to get claymores, and so on and so forth, they said the main determining factor on who's getting claymores is what they deem a support operator. So that's what they're trying to choose here. Is there are support operators, there are attack operators, and there's a combination. You need to fit that role, and I think these guys are doing it well.
Yep.
But we're here underway in the attack phase, and we're going to go with the wine, I'm sorry, not the wine, the kitchen and trophy hold once again. Now, Noble did not successfully hold this last time. It is 2-0 with 3-sub leading the way, but they're going to try again. I think Perception's in a little bit of an odd spot here, but seeing as how the window's castled, it gives them a little bit more freedom to be right on top of this drop hatch.
One thing I will say about this attack, or this particular defense over the last defense, and this is really great to me, is they have Godkin playing in the site now as Doc instead of underneath the site as Doc. Didn't make a whole lot of sense, to be honest. You could play Rook down there, you could put anyone else but Doc, but it's good. It's good to see them. They figured it out. Yay, Doc is an anchor character. You can play him on the site and you heal your teammates.
Yeah, and BNG's feet are actually very exposed by the drone vent right to the left of him. Now, there are some attack teams that will go there and just hold that angle because they know that people like to sit behind the table.
Yeah.
But with that, BNG will be spotted by the drone. We'll call it out. But he witnesses his own teammate being killed off by the main lobby entrance as Beastly pokes on in and gets the shots off. Carnage is going to peek up here, but Godkin is right there. He doesn't see him in time, but the nick of his head, Carnage picks it up. Great shot by Carnage.
I'm not sure what the thought process was there for Godkin. That's pretty much the easiest way to get yourself killed as a defender.
Yeah, you don't have the best line of sight, especially if someone's close up on the window there. Perception stuck inside of the trophy now with Strata. Strata was able to pick up the kill onto Blackbeard, and Beastly, though, trades it off onto BNG. It's now all up to the one remaining player, who is Perception, inside of the hallway here. Wall gets opened up. He tries to go for the push. Because it was planted in a crouched position,
no.
he got stuck on the wall, and it will cost him his life. Perception falling to Beastly here.
Thermite jiggled him to death. But, okay, I want to say, oh, this strat was nice, and that was a crazy attack that, you know, well executed. But their attack strat wasn't even executed until it was down to one person. Until it was down to Perception, the last individual. That was when the attack strat was executed, because they were just peeking out, getting themselves killed.
Yep.
They were allowing the enemy to get line of sight on them. It's kind of weird to see. You don't typically see that on a defensive team. That's not what you do. What you do is you stay alive. It's the same thing as that pulse behind that shield, ended up winning them that round. That's what you should be doing as a defender all the time. There's no reason to do anything else.
Yeah, and I want to call note to the Thermite play right at the very end. You said they only executed their strat, or they started initiating their strat towards the very end. But regardless of that, the thought process behind Thermite putting the breach in a crouch position caught the defender off guard, caught Frost off guard.
Yeah.
And I don't see many people doing that. A lot of people do it standing up, and I think we could potentially see some more crouched Thermite charges to play a little bit of a different game here.
I mean, I agree. It kind of threw Frost off. I don't think that was the idea behind the Thermite charge necessarily. I think, honestly, I have no idea why he did it. I'm gonna say it. I don't know why he did it, but I'm guessing it was probably just he was a little afraid of the angle coming from dining.
Okay.
At planning on that wall, or just like the door in general, and he wanted to make his silhouette as small as possible. That's what I'm guessing. As long as the wall is open, it doesn't really matter if you have to crouch or not through it. It's a pretty small transition, so yeah. But it is interesting, though, that they did bring that out.
So we actually see a Valkyrie who is lurking underneath inside of the snowmobile garage, and Buck is outside by the cliffside woods. So looking at Valkyrie, staying inside the snowmobile here, at the bottom of underneath fireplace, going back and forth between the two main stairwells.
Yeah, this is typical for a roamer on Chalet. You've got a lot of options. You've got those two stairs to work with, and they have to invest serious manpower in order to debunk you when you're in that position.
And there goes the nade coming out,
Oh.
and Godkin peeks on in, says, you know what, you might have killed me there last time, but I got you this time. Jay falling to the likes of Godkin. Beastly, though, trading it off onto Strata as he tries to push on in.
You know, it's interesting the way Jaeger decided to play that. Really, all you have to do to stay... Oh, wow.
We threw a hole in the wall. Godkin is able to down Doc. Doc gets back up and is able to evade the final killing blow.
But yeah, no, the way to stay alive from that window is to just get closer to it and crouch. Like, you don't have to run away from it at all.
I believe we actually have someone who's right underneath of it, or we did eventually, or we did earlier. But looks as though he managed to escape and get out of the way. So now Hopes is going to get on all the different cams, spot where people are, what might be happening. Not going to see too much just yet. Digital makes an aggressive push outside, picks up Godkin, but it is BNG to pick off the trade as he manages to get Digital from behind. Carnage, though, able to get ROC. Downs Doc in the process, or I'm sorry, downs Frost. Doc picks up Frost, and Frost will decide to drop downstairs into the wine cellar. Now, 60 seconds left to go. Carnage is able to pick up Perception. It's all up to Buck now. Buck's outside by the fireplace. It's going to be Frost coming up behind him if she manages to get up just in time. But no, it's going to be Hopes coming on to get the shots onto BNG from, I believe that was Kitchen.
Okay, these attack strats that we're seeing from Noble, it was the same on Bank, and it's the same on this map. They are all over the place. I have no idea. I can't put it together, you know, what their plan is. They had, what was Thermite dropping in the kitchen drop, and Buck was on the other end of the map.
It seems a little bit like their strategies aren't solidified. Some people are thinking, oh, I want to do this, I want to do this. It's almost like they're separated and not communicating real well.
Yeah, I think they need to implement some kind of regime, put some time in on some dry runs, and work on their team synergy, because I'm seeing unsynchronized attacks as well as just flat-out uncoordinated attacks that don't make a whole lot of sense.
All right, and with that, let's see, it is 4-0.
I hope they can bring it back, though.
Hopefully. I mean, Noble's got to fight a long and hard battle. Now, 3-Sup was down 4-2, so we'll have to see. 3-Sup was down 4-2 on the last map, and they managed to come back and actually secure 4 straight rounds. So it is possible that Noble can do the same thing, but again, it's going to take some fighting.
Yeah.
And so bomb site's going to be downstairs in the garage. Looks as though C4 is going to go out. They've only reinforced one of the garage walls. I don't even think they've realized it yet. Let's take a look, see if someone's going to get it. No one just yet. There are 2 of 3Sup's drones out there. Spots that the wall's open.
Come on,
You're going to see
Noble.
a mad rush here from 3Sup, ready to get this wall opened up. I don't even know if they realize it here. Strata playing with C4 right underneath of him.
I believe you can get this wall, Noble. I believe in you. Oh, no. They're not even going to try.
They're not even going to try here, like you said. And so
What?
with that, they're just leaving it open. Not quite sure how this strat's going to play out, but maybe it's something Noble has been working on, leaving one of the garage doors opened up, but
Maybe.
we'll have to see.
I mean, I could see it working for some things. Like, sometimes you leave a wall unreinforced so that you can see for it while they try to plant a thermite charge or try to sledge it or what have you. But not with that garage, because you can just shoot it open. So
Yep.
I don't know what the thought process is there. I mean, maybe it was a mistake. Maybe they forgot. Who knows?
So with that, Strata's still going to be right on top of the B-bomb underneath of him inside of the snowmobile garage. Taking a quick bird's eye view look here at to where all of the defenders are. Now, all defenders are on site except for Rock, who's inside the hallway, playing just off the site, but in those covering those back stairs. Now, just over half the round remaining, they've opened up garage enough to the point where they might be able to hop in. They might call Ash to come on over and finish getting it all the way opened. But that wall being opened up allows Thermite to rotate over here to Snowmobile.
Yeah. One thing I do like about what I'm seeing from Noble, and hopefully it'll let them win this round, is that they are playing extremely passively. They are all 5 inside. They're not taking any risks whatsoever. And, you know, it doesn't always work, but, oh, and there's a C4.
So the C4 from Strata will pick up Jay. Buck trying to be aggressive at the top, and I believe that might have been Pulse getting that C4 kill on him. But there's Valkyrie overextending her elbow and will be shot just a little bit for it, but she goes out, gets the shots onto Ash. Very aggressive play, but now she's going to be stuck inside a cubby. The door to her right is closed off, but she knows that there's going to be someone on the stairs, potentially inside of the big garage. Moving on over to Thermite, who's droning out Wine right now. Looking to, he doesn't actually spot Valkyrie. Thinks Valkyrie might have retreated back in sight. Beastly's going to pop on down here and oh, actually from above. Pulse rotates around and is able to get the flank. Beastly falling to the likes of Pulse here. So Digital manages to make his way in. Doesn't have Diffuser though, so it's going to be very tough. He's all the way on the other side of the map. Goes for the shots onto BNG. Will down and not kill him just yet. Looks for RNC. He gets the shots onto him. And now he picks up a double kill. There's a triple kill from Godkin. Digital able to get 3 kills. Carnage picks up 1. Now it's all to Pulse. They need to get Diffuser. 20 seconds left, and they're both inside a winery here. Strata coming up from behind. Doesn't see him, and they will down each other. And it will be 3Sup in one heck of a comeback in a 3v5 deficit to come back and get the win here. 5-0 at the moment. Great job.
You gotta feel bad for what was it? Digital?
No, Digital made those 3 kills. Great job by Digital.
That was a great job by Digital. You got to feel bad for Noble.
Yes.
Because, like, they had that round. They had a great idea. They played it passive. They played it anchored. They played all 5 on site. And then once they were given the opportunity, they explosively roamed. And it worked out. It worked out great for them. And then Digital just came in and killed all of them.
It was tremendous. I mean, you saw him creep in like a cat coming out of the garage or into the garage.